Good morning. Happy Friday. It's time to get real. Are you ready? Um, all right. So today we're going to be doing some real life cooking. It's not a lot different from all the other real life cooking that I've shown you, but it works. All right. So yesterday we talked a little bit about being organized and being organized for Christmas and getting everything done. For me, I also have a nephew who is turning 11, and yesterday was his birthday, but his party is Saturday. I have a daughter, Robin, who is going to be 20 years old on Sunday. So her birthday is December 20th. She'll be 20 years old on December 20th of 2020. And so I've got a birthday party Saturday. I'm doing like a little birthday party on Sunday for my daughter, and then every Friday night I have we have friends over, and usually I cook. And so it is a busy weekend, and I have to work today, and it's Christmas time. So I always try to do things in steps. Okay, I don't ever. I'm not the person that cooks all at once. Okay, so. Um, Today I kind of want to show you because we've got some friends coming over tonight and I want to show you what I'm doing for dinner. So on the menu today is going to be pulled pork, roasted sweet potatoes, roasted broccoli, and coleslaw. And then I'll have some like Hawaiian rolls if they want to do pulled pork sliders. And I'm gonna have dessert only because it's Robin's birthday this weekend. And I want to have something for her. That kid, she is a junk food junkie. But she works it off a ton. Oh, and also on the menu is Bob Evans frozen mac and cheese because was her request and that's what she likes. I don't I don't eat that stuff. It's just bleh. So that's why the roasted sweet potatoes in addition to the frozen Bob Evans mac and cheese. But back to dessert. So I used to, for my kids' birthdays, bake all my cakes, make all my desserts. I don't do that anymore. They don't care. First and foremost, Robin's fine with just getting a cheesecake sampler from Kroger. But then also the other reason I really choose not to bake anymore is because I eat it all while I'm baking. So if I never disclosed this before, which I think I have, I love sweets and specifically pastry and specifically cake and specifically cake batter. So if I'm making a cake or if I'm making banana bread or if I'm making cookies or if I'm making anything, I'm eating the batter. I'm eating the ingredients while I bake it. I'm eating the batter before it's baked, even with the raw eggs. I don't care. Uh, um, and then I'm eating it when it comes out of the oven to see if I like it hot. And then I'm eating it at room temperature. And then I'm putting it in the refrigerator and eating it cold because I want to see what I like better. And so I just don't bake anymore. And it's basically self-preservation. And my kids got to the point where they don't care. They're just like they're fine with just something we buy. And so tonight for dessert, I'm sending probably my youngest up to Kroger to grab something. So I want to show you how I'm getting this done because I probably won't be home until like 5:30, and then everybody's coming for dinner. So I don't have time to like cram it all in when I get home. And you know what? I just don't want to. I don't like to be rushed, like I said yesterday. So the pulled pork. So I will take a picture of the recipe that I used for inspiration. However, I don't really follow recipes. When I cook, I don't consider myself a creative person in the sense of like painting, sculpting, or interior decorating. I'm not particularly crafty, but I like to cook creatively, and I typically don't follow a recipe. But there was an inspiration for the pulled pork. So I've got here my pork shoulder. Usually I use a pork loin, but the one I had was pretty small, and I had this big pork shoulder, so I'm going to use that. Now pork shoulder is pretty fatty, so I did trim off a bunch of the fat. Okay, there's plenty of fat in there still for flavor. I'm just pitching that because gross. And then the marinade, or quote unquote, that I have here, the sauce that I'm putting over it, I made last night. So I took the roast out of the freezer, stuck it right into the crock pot. It's like an 8-pound roast, so it just thawed out overnight. And then I also made the marinade to go on top of it so that I can just kind of dump and go today. Now, in the marinade, there is garlic, which I just use jarred minced garlic, and cumin, chili powder, pepper, oregano, paprika, a tiny bit of cinnamon, a tiny bit of salt. And then there was supposed to be juice of lemon and lime, which I didn't have. And so instead, I did a no-no. I put this Kansas City inspired barbecue sauce. It's our favorite. Now, this is not one I would recommend eating all the time. I very rarely eat barbecue sauce, and I've tried making my own, and I think it tastes gross. So the second ingredient is sugar. So this is not probably a huge one I'd recommend, but this is the way I look at it. This is kind of like my treat, so to speak, is the barbecue sauce on top of this pulled pork. I'm not going to have the dessert, so whatever. And so now I'm just going to take this marinade and I am going to dump it. I put some diced onion in here too on top. And just spread it around a little bit. Okay. Good. I use my crock pot a ton for cooking because I'm not home a lot, and it just does the work for you. So I know a lot of people have Instapots and all that. I don't have one of those. I don't really want one. I think I got one for Christmas last year, and I tried it once, or an air fryer or something, and I didn't know what to do with it. I wasn't good at it, so I know what to do with a crock pot. So I'm just going to turn this on high, and voila. The meat's done. Again, there was some planning that went into that. I had to take the roast out last night, really only so that I could get the plastic wrapping off of it, and then make the marinade, and it just sat in the fridge overnight. So that's my pulled pork sliders. I'll post a picture of that. Also, I'm going to do some, in that picture of the pulled pork recipe, well, there is something called sweet potato buns. Now, I'm not making buns out of it. I'm just doing roasted diced sweet potatoes. So last night I had 4 big sweet potatoes. I peeled and diced them and stuck them in a baggie. And then I also made the marinade for the diced sweet potatoes, so that I just open this up and I dump the sweet potatoes in there. I didn't want to do this last night. I wasn't sure if I should marinate sweet potatoes overnight. I didn't know if they'd turn out gross. But I figure I can throw these in the fridge while I'm at work, and then when I come home, my tray is already ready. I just dump on the tray, stick it in the oven at I roast my stuff high, like 500 degrees until they're done. And so in the marinade for these sweet potatoes, there are some ingredients. There's some olive oil and some paprika, a little bit of cumin, some salt, some onion chips, some pepper, a little bit of oregano. I basically just go into my spice cupboard and dump a bunch of stuff in a bag. And then the marinade looked a little thick, so I added just a little bit of water just to thin it out a little bit. Okay, so now these are going in the fridge. Do that a little bit. When I get home, I dump and throw them in the oven. Easy peasy. Also on the menu is some roasted broccoli. Okay, so last night I cut up all my broccoli, and I'm just going to put that on, you guessed it, my prepared pan. And I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil and salt on that. And so far we've got our meat, our carb, our sweet potatoes, our healthy carb, and then our vegetable. Okay. Well, I also had this head of cabbage in my fridge that I wanted to use up, and I'm thinking, well, why don't I make some coleslaw to go on the pulled pork? And so last night, again, this is all pre-done, I chopped up all my cabbage and added some shredded, just some bagged shredded carrots. And again, I like to create. So the dressing that I'm putting on there is here. And in this is a little bit of beer and brat mustard, which this has vinegar, water, mustard seed, horseradish, salt, and mustard flour. So there's that. And then in there is also some garlic aioli mayo, avocado oil mayo. And so this is by Primal Kitchen, and I get these at Kroger. I love this for making sauces and marinades, or just using for sandwiches or whatever. It's got avocado oil, organic eggs, organic egg yolks, organic vinegar, sea salt, organic lemon oil, garlic oil, organic rosemary extract. That's it. So no additives or preservatives. So I put some of that in there. And then I added some classic oil and vinegar, Newman's Own salad dressing. And here there's olive oil, water, canola oil, which is the ingredient I'm not a big fan of, but red wine vinegar, spicy brown mustard, distilled water, or distilled vinegar, water, mustard seed, salt, turmeric, onion, sea salt, lemon juice, distilled vinegar, garlic, black pepper, and celery seeds. So everything I can pronounce, that's in there. And then I threw some parsley flakes in. And then I said, I stirred it up and it didn't quite, I don't know, it just needed something. So I added this chipotle lime mayo, again by Primal Kitchen. And this is olive oil, or this is avocado oil, organic eggs, organic egg yolks, organic vinegar, water, sea salt, organic lime juice, concentrate, chipotle powder, lime granules, organic garlic powder, organic rosemary extract. So everything you can pronounce. So there's no weird ingredients in here or preservatives. That's why I like that line. And then I tasted it, and it tasted really bitey, really vinegary. So I added just a little bit of honey to it. And I stirred it all up in this bowl, and I put it in the fridge overnight. And now I'm just dumping it on here. And I'm gonna let it sit, get all yummy. While I'm at work. That's a cooking term, is yummy. Now, sometimes I will do all different kinds of slaw, and honestly, I can't ever remember what goes into the slaws I make because, again, I don't typically use a recipe. I just look around my cupboards, mix a bunch of stuff together, and hope for the best, and it usually turns out pretty good. But I used to do a holiday slaw. Oh, it was so pretty. It was purple cabbage, carrots, dried blueberries, a little bit of green onion, and probably, you guys didn't see that, probably, what's those things called? Sesame seeds, maybe? I'm not sure. But you would mix all that together and do like some kind of vinaigrette over the top. And it was holiday slaw kind of, just because it was like purple and red and kind of pretty. Looked good. All right, so I think that's enough dressing in there. I'm not going to use all of it. So there we go. So my coleslaw is done. Voila. Awesome. So this dinner started last night, but nothing seemed overwhelming because I did it in some, steps so that I was prepared, so that when I get home today, okay, let's go through the steps. Last night, took out the roast, made the marinades, cut up the vegetables, put it in the fridge. Today, take it out, throw it in the crock pot, add the marinade, add the dressing to the coleslaw, put the potatoes in the marinade, throw that stuff in the fridge. When I get home, pulled pork will be done. I pull the potatoes out, dump them on a thing, throw them in the oven. On the pan, throw them in the oven, dump the broccoli out, add some olive oil and salt, throw it in the oven. Oven's doing the work there. Coleslaw's already made. Boom, dinner. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be fancy. And I would much prefer this, because there was one night I didn't do this, and it was Friday night, and we ordered pizza. And the pizza was good, but I don't know. I like to save my indulgence, maybe even for Saturday, or spend. And I'm going to spend my calories on my wine tonight. So you just pick and choose and be smart about it. Be prepared, and nothing has to be overwhelming. Living a healthy lifestyle, cooking doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be scary, and it can be kind of fun. So. That's what I have for you today. I hope you all have a great week or weekend. I may be with you tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. Again, because I've got a couple birthday parties this weekend that I'm looking forward to. And then in the home stretch, looking forward to Christmas next week. So thank you for joining me. I got to walk around and turn my computer off, and I will see you soon. Peace.